Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, welcome home. I woke up at 6:30 this morning to stream the finale of Stalker 2. We usually go live around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. If you want to stop by or join the Discord, link in the description for more accurate timing. But we didn't even get to finish the game as Gears Fan made us aware of the Game Awards happening, so we cut the Stalker stream short and started a watch party for the show. And boy, do I regret my decisions. No, it wasn't all bad, and honestly, there's quite a few good things to talk about. Let me also make it clear this is not a full recap of the show. This is just a video of some of my highlights and lowlights, whatever it's called. I think first up we need to congratulate Bethesda for winning Best Adaptation with the Fallout TV show. I don't think that was much of a surprise to anyone. I know the Yakuza special was another one that was highly regarded, but it's unquestionable the Fallout TV show has done wonders for the popularity of the Fallout franchise. Not only was Todd Howard on stage for the TV show, but he also introduced Mr. Harrison Ford himself in promotion of their highly regarded Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Indy sounded like he had a few too many in preparation for the show, but at his age, can you really blame him? I mean, that man has no interest in video games or being around a bunch of nerds, at least not sober. And speaking of white hair, The Witcher 4 got its first reveal, and my god, this thing looks glorious. As CD Projekt Red informed us years ago, we won't be playing as Geralt this time around. It seems we'll be playing more matured and hardened Ciri. The trailer looked amazing, but I'm curious if this is how the final game will look. If you remember the teasers for The Witcher 3 versus how the game itself looked, they were vastly different. However, technology has come a long way in the nearly 10 years since we saw those trailers. Either way, myself and chat seem to love the trailer and hints at Geralt still having a part in the game as we hear his voice kinda guiding Cirilla in a way.
There are no gods here. There are only monsters.
Sadly, we don't have a hint at a date, only a suggestion to visit their website to learn more, and I'll save you the time. This is it. They're moving from their custom engine to Unreal Engine 5, so be ready for some hefty PC requirements. The Outer Worlds 2 was revealed to the world today, and I'm excited. I know the first one didn't live up to the hype many put on it as being a full New Vegas in space, but the story, the writing, and open-ended choices were better than the other Fallout in space, to say the least. And can we just take a moment to appreciate the way it was introduced?
Neverwinter Nights, Part 2.
Is this the Outer Worlds Part 2? It is.
And Fallout 3, Part 2.
Hey, that's golden. That's golden.
Comes a completely original Part 2.
Hell yeah.
And like all good sequels, we've included everything that should have been in the first game.
I look forward to this game coming sometime in 2025. As a token of respect for his good in this world, I have to acknowledge the work of Amir Satvat. Forgive me if I'm butchering that name. I've covered the tens of thousands of layoffs in the games industry over the past couple years, and while he hasn't been able to fix the underlying issues, this man has helped tremendously by helping thousands of those developers bounce back and find employment in other companies, and I'm glad to have seen and heard of his efforts. Amir, we thank you.
Everyone to ask themselves, what more can we each do to make our industry better?
And in the complete opposite light, Randy Pitchford came out looking like a coked up gambling addict to showcase Borderlands 4. And as much as I can't stand the man behind the mask, the game looks awesome. I've been a Borderlands fan since the first one released. I used to play it all the time with my neighbors back on a 360 and played the hell out of every release since. Not that they're all good, they peaked with Borderlands 2 and even had a DLC released as a standalone game, but I digress. The series has come a long way in mechanics, and I love that the visuals seem to be making a return to the darker, grungier tone of the first game. I'm a huge fan of that, and would love to see it taken further in that direction opposed to the flamboyant unicorn puke we see now. I'm also excited to meet the new cast of Vault Hunters and a female antagonist that wasn't hurling cringe at me within the first microsecond. Expect the game to release sometime next year. Coming out of nowhere, we're kicking it old school with Turok. As Jarek the Gaming Dragon used to always preach, there aren't enough dinosaur shooting games, and I'm here for it. We have no idea when it will be released, but I'll be keeping an eye on this one for sure. Coming summer of 2025, we got a more in-depth look at Dying Light the Beast, which sees the return of Kyle Crane. This one got the old blood flowing, you hear me? The game looks visually stunning, and it shouldn't be hard to nail this. All they need to do is make some tweaks to the already stellar movement mechanics, add some weapons and enemy variety, and give us a decent story. The trailer was short, but it certainly hinted that they're working on all 3 of these goals. Oh my god, there's so many games to look forward to right now. And it was around this moment that I realized 2025 has some potential to be one of the best years in gaming history. Yes, there are plenty of flops ahead and negative aspects all around us, but I haven't been this cautiously optimistic about this many upcoming releases in a very long time. And the trailer that piqued my excitement had to be the Mafia trailer. Again, this one is releasing summer of next year and I cannot wait any longer. Please, please get this one done on time. I cannot stand EA for the most part, but if they return to form like the original Mafia and kind of Mafia 2, this could be an amazing experience. We played through the Mafia remake and part of Mafia 2 on stream a few months back, and those games hold up so well due to the story and settings feeling real, which is part of what caused 3 to flop in my opinion. The game felt like an open world Mafia/Crackdown game, as it was so obscure and completely unbelievable in a lot of ways. And I'm not saying that every game should strive for realism, actually far from it, but the original games made you feel like you were drug into this Mafia lifestyle and battled with morality in a much more grounded tone, where 3 felt more like a comic book than anything. From the little we saw in the trailer, I'm optimistic that they learned their lesson and will make the return to the old country worth the wait.
I swear my loyalty to this family.
The list of negative things I could say could have a video of its own, but we'll keep it short here. Killing Floor 3 got its first showing, which looked like more Killing Floor, but really fed into an underlying issue with the show as a whole. So many of the games look so similar. You had many with the Japanese art style that I had no interest in personally, or like we mentioned in the channel here before, and hopefully some of you that are new here understand what I mean by all these games have the basic Unreal Engine 4 look. So many of them have that kind of Fortnite-esque look. And speaking of Fortnite, how much of their marketing budget did they blow on this show alone? They made 3 or 4 appearances showing multiple expansions that they have coming up. I was almost as tired of seeing them as I was seeing the handheld consoles. And my biggest gripes with the whole thing is it felt so rigged. True Blue and I covered the article as soon as it was published showing the nominees for these awards and saying back then that we felt like it was all rigged and not actually voted upon by the gaming audience, but paid advertisement and self-appreciation in some cases. And almost every award was split between Astrobot, Balatro, and that Metaphor game I never even heard of. So let me get this over with. This tells you a lot about the past year in gaming when a card game, a DLC, and a title I've never heard of make the Game of the Year nominee list. Elden Ring can be the best game of all time, with the best DLC of all time, but it is still a DLC. If Elden Ring's Shadow of the Erdtree can be up on that list, give it to Fallout London at this point. They deserve it even more so. And how did Astrobot win Game of the Year? Again, it's a great game, but it's a kids game that won Game of the Year. Really? And don't even try to tell me that it's not a kids game, because the developers said on stage.
I think, when I think of the team, it's the amount of generosity they gave. They put the user first always, never thought about any calculation. It was just about the kids especially.
I don't like how everything was handled and clearly don't agree with the winnings, but I am grateful. I'm glad the gaming community still has a major event to attend and to watch. A place to nerd out over upcoming releases and argue over who did what better. I may never get to fulfill my dream of attending an E3 event, but something is better than nothing. But what about you? What did you think of the showing? Was there anything that stood out to you specifically? Let's talk about it in the comments. If you made it this far, thank you, and please consider a like, sub to help keep us growing, and join the Discord to vote and stay up to date on the latest streams and news there. I love you all. Jesus loves you. I'ma holler at y'all next time.